Why did that do that? There we go. Hello, welcome to the DraftCast. We're live, and no technical issues to start already. We've got Rich with us. How you doing, Rich?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's Tuesday, first day back at work after a week off. Good bank holiday weekend?
Yeah, very good. I had that sinking Sunday feeling, and I realised we had another day, so I was pretty chuffed about that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, catching up on life admin.
Yeah. It's always one of those things, you have a week off and then you never feel like you get anything done that you wanted to do before that week off started.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was good. Nice to have a bit of downtime from work. But here we are. We've had game week 5 has literally just begun. About 15 minutes ago, the game's kicked off.
I think it's still 0-0 in all games.
Is it? That's good so far. So you can be our live updater, Rich. But yeah, we'll do the normal things. Have a chat about the league table, current standings, anything else we can think of on the spot. And then you've brought a segment that we'll go over, and maybe we'll try and get a trade proposed and accepted. I don't know. See how much time we have. But if you're in the chat, let us know who's there. Let us know what you think of the league so far, and what your chances are for the El Presidente Cup as well. So let's get the league table up. Unfortunately, everyone's game weeks are zeros because game week 5 has started, and I only took the screenshot about 20 minutes ago. So, but we can run through. We've got the scores ourselves, haven't we, Rich? So we can have a look.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, it's some big old scores. Like I said, I think I said it in the chat. Like, it feels like the scores are way higher this year, like across the board. I mean,
yeah.
I think this time last year, like the first 4 to 5 weeks or something like that. Like, I mean, I know myself, I was on like 20s for most of that period. So, but like, it seems like most people seem to be breaching 30 quite easily.
Yeah.
This year, and then obviously this early on, you've got people like Adam and Jim and even Ben, like 58. I mean, it's absolute monster scores for a single game week.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, as well?
Because in the league as well.
Yeah, but it's always over the weeks we've had, it always seems like half have a really decent week, and then the other half have an average or lower than week. But this week seems to be the first week where we've all got above 30 at the same time.
Yeah,
we've all tried to turn it on for the cup. Yeah. So, like you say, yeah. Adam's still rolling on with 61, another great week. Jim and Ben with 58. Lawrence with 57, it's good. Yourself, 46, it's not bad.
And that was without Salah doing anything.
Yeah, which is good because...
And Ronaldo.
Yeah. So you should be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm comfortable in the knowledge that the team can score points without having to rely on Salah. So, like, hopefully when Salah does come back into form, I'm going to be sort of in the region of, like, the Jim and Adam score ratio.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't be too far behind at that point to sort of catch up with them. But who knows? It might go the other way, and it might be Salah might just have an absolute flop of a season, and which would be typical my luck.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So you're fifth at the moment with 164. So
yeah,
I think he's still there. I mean, everybody's still there, even Will. Really, I know he's over 100 points behind, but it's so early in the season, you can't really write anyone off. I don't think.
That's it, and you can never write Will off either. He's always got something in his back pocket.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he'll be up there towards the end, especially if he gets to pick up some of these new signings that have come in at the end of the transfer window.
Yeah, that is true. I'll tell you what, let's see if I can bring up the groups. Let's talk about the groups, shall we? Hi Lawrence. Lawrence is here. welcome.
Hello, Lawrence.
You should be happy with your week, 57.
A very good week. Who scored what for Lawrence's team? Let's see. Right behind me.
Almost there.
Oh, can I see? Oh, that was it.
Here we go.
So he had, like, his Man United trio obviously did well for him. Sterling did great.
Let me just bring this up onto the desktop. All right, groups. Group A and B for the El Presidente. So it's only the first of 3 weeks, but currently we've got George, Max, Tolly, and Will in trouble.
Yeah, sadly for Max, I don't think he's getting out of that group. Just looking at his team.
I'm not feeling too comfortable either, because I'm like looking at my score. I'm like, if I was in the other group, I would not have. I'd be in the orange.
I definitely think, yeah, it's definitely between yourself and George in that group. I think. I mean, I like I say, it's first week. I mean, I could be down there by the end of game week 6. But yeah, just going on what I remember the teams to be. Yeah, I think Max is probably nailed on. Sorry, Max. And then the fight between you guys. George's team is an odd one. I think he's got like a few very decent players, but then doesn't seem to be scoring highly.
Let's bring him up. Let's see what we've got. I mean, yeah, he's made a good trade this week, though. I think with Adam potentially.
Oh yeah, he got Sancho, didn't he?
Yeah.
For Grealish, who's in and out of that team. Surprised Adam went for him, to be honest, but he must have a plan. He must know something that we don't. But yeah, like Adam, George's got the likes of like Jesus, who started off really well, and I think the last couple of games I don't think he scored, but he still looked dangerous.
Yeah.
Kulusevski, like he's always involved with more or less anything that Tottenham seem to be doing at the minute. I was actually tempted to trade Salah to him for Kulusevski, but
Rich.
I can't remember the trade. It was like it was Salah, Kulusevski, and I think Elliot was involved. Elliot for someone else. I can't remember who on my side it was. But yeah, I thought better of it. I was tempted though. Purely for the reason that whenever Adam comes with a commentary for a Tottenham goal, Kulusevski always seems to come up as like the assists just recently. So I was like, yeah, let's take a risk, but I think that's too much of a risk.
Yeah, I don't think. I know I know he wasn't involved with the game at the weekend, really, Salah, but I don't think you can trade him unless he's injured. I just don't think you could do it, Rich. You will be, I don't know, crucified by the group if you do. Yeah. Other than the person you trade him to.
Tolly was calling me up on it earlier, but like basically saying like, "Oh, you said you were done with him in the chat. You said you were done with Salah," and I mean, I am pretty fed up with him, to be honest, with not scoring. But there's still a price that I would require to get rid of him. Like, there's like sort of a handful of players that I would let him go for. I'm not going to just going to like, oh, I'm done with him. I'm just going to trade him out for, I don't know, like Ruben Neves or something. Yeah, there's still. I've still got to try and get something in return.
Yeah.
And I think he still holds a value even when he's not in form.
Yeah. We've got our first game update. Chelsea are 1-0 up. Sterling goal. Lawrence will be happy with that.
Lawrence again in the cup and turning it on. Any assist?
I don't think Adam's not put one through yet. Might not be one.
Quick look. Yeah, I've got nothing yet on my app. Is this going to be the start of a sort of run of form from Raheem Sterling? Scored last game, scored this game.
Yeah, maybe. Could be a good pickup. Amount assist for Will. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're done with the league table. I don't think there's anything else to add to that. We've covered the cup. I think we just move on to your segment, Rich. What do you think?
Yeah, we can have a look at that.
All right, let me get it on screen for Lawrence. Personal viewing for Lawrence.
Edge of your seat stuff, Lawrence. This, I mean, you gotta prepare yourself for what's about to happen.
Yeah. Okay. You tell me when you want me to move slides, Rich, and then we'll get going.
The first couple of slides are just the intro slides.
Yeah.
Bit of DraftCast, and then today's segment is all about cup. It's a bit of a cup fixture guide. It's not a segment. It's just information. It's just to sort of visually show the fixtures over the cup period. So that's going from the group game weeks all the way through the quarterfinals, semi-finals to the final. We'll do, if we go on to the next slide. So start off by just looking at all the teams in the Premier League, and this is the fixtures over the game weeks for the cup.
Okay.
And the green, red, and white notations are just what the Fantasy Premier League deems to be the favourable, unfavourable, and I guess 50-50 matchups between those teams, which some of them are with questions, some of them are a bit like, I think Leicester playing Man United, it considered it to be like a 50-50 matchup, and I was a bit like, no, I don't see that. But yeah, this is what the app says.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just looking at this, I think anyone with Liverpool players might. It's not going to be a struggle, I don't think. But like during the period of the quarterfinals to the semi-finals, they have a run of Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man City. So anyone that has like a heavy reliance on Liverpool players, defence or otherwise, obviously I think are most affected by this run of fixtures, maybe. But yeah, we'll see how it affects the teams as we go on. So
I was just looking across to see which one's best. I was like, Tottenham's probably a good team to invest in, looking at their line. And I was like, who's that? Definitely. Brentford. I was like, wait a minute, Brentford got Arsenal in the middle there. How's that not a red?
Exactly. This is it. I mean, this is straight off the app, off the website, and yeah, that obviously deems the Arsenal fixture to be a 50-50 game, which, I mean, to be fair, they did beat them last year. What was it, like 3-0 or something like that? But if that's what they're going off last year's form, then who knows? But yeah, there's quite a few in there that I, like when I was going through putting it in, I was like, well, yeah.
Oh, I'm just waiting. We've had an update. It could be a equaliser in the Saints game.
Oh yeah, it's on my app. Lavia. Never heard of him. Oh, Romeo.
Right then, next slide, Rich.
Yeah.
I think we can see where you're going with this.
Yeah, team by team, just to sort of show you the spread of fixtures that you're going to face over this period, and the weeks that you might struggle. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think Adam's one of the ones that he has his red sort of densely populated in certain weeks. Like some people have it like spread like more evenly, so they have 1 or 2 per game week, whereas Adam has like 3 or 4 like in certain game weeks. So game week 6 in particular, game week 8 if he gets to the quarterfinals, even in the semi-finals, he's still got a heavy sort of red percentage. I mean, he has got options on the bench in those weeks where he could switch it out, and obviously there's going to be a few, like maybe some agency pickups across this period, so it's kind of or not up in the air, but it's open to change, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I think after this week, Adam might find some of these fixtures a little bit challenging, maybe, just for his top players. So like his Alexander Arnold's, maybe his Martinelli's in game week 8 and 10 are obviously going to come up against strong opposition in Chelsea and Liverpool, and then Watkins is his sort of go-to striker at the minute, and across 3 of the weeks until the semi-finals, it's got Arsenal, Man City, and Chelsea. I mean, that aren't doing particularly well at the minute anyway, but that can't help his attacking options going forward. But who knows? I mean, this team are scoring great points.
Yeah.
So, these fixtures are just a guideline, right? Like,
yeah.
It might say it's a red fixture, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the team isn't going to pull out a surprise result or whatever. So, yeah. Shall we move on? Jim, I think Jim's got one of the better outlooks. Like straight away, like difference between him and Adam is like way less red, and it's way less densely condensed. Like it's more spread out across the whole table. I think he's only got like a maximum of 3 in a starting 11 per any game week. So that's not too bad, and he's got a very green bench. So he's got options on the bench. I mean, Zaha, I should say as well that the team sheet here is the team sheet that they put out for the first game week of the cup, so game week 4, which is the one just gone. So obviously teams change week to week, but you can see the bench at the bottom 4 players. But pretty green bench. He's got options should he want to change some of the red fixtures going forward. I think Jim has one of the most green fixtures as well, if my memory serves, and the ratio from green to red is probably the best out of all 12 managers as well. I think he is the best in terms of that. High hopes for Jim in the cup, I think, based on his fixtures.
Yeah, I think it's a good table as we're going through, because it sort of gives people something a little bit to think about. Like you say, although they're red and they don't necessarily mean that those teams are going to dominate, but it just a bit of caution, isn't it, going into those?
Exactly. Oh, Everton have scored. Let's see.
So with Tom, then.
It's a Anthony Gordon goal in the Everton Leeds game. With Tom, I think with Tom the thing that stood out to me was that if he gets to the semi-final or the final, he may struggle quite a lot, especially if he gets to the final. I think anyone facing Tom in the final, if he keeps the team as he has it, I think may be odds on to beat him, because he's got a lot of red fixtures in that tie. Even the semi-final. I mean, the semi-final one, they're actually in his starting 11 there, whereas on the final, most of his bench is red. But I think Tom in the latter periods of the cup may struggle a little bit. But I think leading up to the semi-finals, I think he should find it quite easy based on some of the fixtures he's got. But apart from that, Ben was another one. Yeah, Ben was another one that I thought had quite a good spread. A lot of green in his starting 11 across the board. Again, when you get to the final, he's got quite a few 50-50s and quite a few red fixtures. But then he's got a very sort of green bench for that final week. So should he want to bring that, and this is the thing as well, like that his bench have got green fixtures, but if you look at who's on his bench, like the likes of Mateta and Tierney, who at that point probably, well, providing Zinchenko comes back into the team, probably won't play. It's like on paper it looks good, but like the players that it necessarily pertains to is not necessarily like poignant or whatever. But yeah, he has got options there. Should he want to use them?
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think again he's a bit like Tom. I think he's maybe this week. So the current week that we're in, maybe he might struggle to get points from Trippier, Varane, Saint Maximin, and Rashford, all of which would be players that he would be looking to get strong points from. But yeah, past this game week until the sort of final week, I think he doesn't seem to have too many issues there.
Yeah. But Lawrence is being very cutthroat, saying we should just skip to the people that are actually here. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they might actually watch this back. So I think it's still useful for everyone.
Spoiler alert, I think unfortunately Lawrence has got one of the worst fixtures of all 12. We'll get to that.
All right, got on yourself.
So, yeah, myself, I mean, I've got one of the worst as well, I think. It's not the worst by a long shot, I don't think, but it's not one of the greatest for myself, because I think it's just because of the players that it affects. I mean, I've not really got much up front anyway, so that even though they've got semi-favourable fixtures, but like the likes of Salah, I look to as probably my one of my big sort of scorers on a good day. But yeah, across the quarterfinals and semi-finals, should I get there, he's got Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man City. So it's always going to be a difficult game for going up against them. So you never know what you're going to get. Again, Alisson, always looking for a clean sheet from the keeper, but like he's going up against teams that like to score a lot of goals. So it doesn't look like I'm going to get a clean sheet in any of those.
Save points though, maybe.
Yeah. And yeah, it seems to get more red, especially in my defence as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be getting many clean sheets after quarter, if I was to get as far as the quarterfinals after there. So yeah, I don't hold much hope for my team this cup, but this cup for me anyway has historically never been very good. I never seem to have a strong enough team this early in the season to make it very far in this cup, and in But Lawrence, so Lawrence has got quite a lot of 50-50s, the same amount of red fixtures, and a very low compared to the other managers anyway.
Yeah, 45 greens is a lot. Not a lot. Compared to the others.
I think most managers seem to be in the mid to high 50s.
Yeah.
And Lawrence is down there at 45.
I mean, if he gets to the final, that could be an interesting. That looks like a lot of 3 green players in the final week.
But then he's already scored very heavily in the first game week of this cup.
Yeah.
But, and he's already off the mark in the second, in game week 5. So I mean, it was Sterling. So so that is a green fixture on the table. So you would expect Sterling to not be affected by that. But yeah, I mean, this would suggest that he would struggle this week, given that Pope is against Liverpool, with Sven Botman as well, and all his Man United players playing Leicester, which always seems to be a bit of difficult game. But yeah, I mean, although that is one of the ones where I thought, like, Leicester, a red fixture, like, I couldn't quite believe that against Man United. But I know Man United haven't really been playing that well at the minute. But yeah, maybe that was their reasoning for giving it a red fixture. But yeah, I don't think it's a red fixture. So yeah, yeah, I think again, looking at this, if he got to the final, looks like it could be a tough sort of points haul if he on that game week, given his fixtures. But if he was say up against Tom that had a similar situation as you saw earlier, then it could be quite even. So
could be interesting.
You just got to hope for that.
That's a bold statement from Lawrence there. Leicester getting relegated this season.
Well, yeah, they are bottom of the league currently. I mean, I don't think you've got quite a bad. If you ignore the bottom bit, so you'll have to ignore the Bamford. So the Bamford, Jota, and Matip are in red because I did plan to sort of look at the injuries that would be affected during these game weeks, and I think these players were injured for the duration of those weeks, maybe. And then, like, I did it on yours, and then, like, I forgot to do it on everyone else's. And then I went through it at the end. I was just like, oh, I didn't carry that on. And I was just like, oh, I'm not going back and watching it in there. So yeah, just have to ignore that. But yeah, I mean, you have got a heavy percentage of red. Should they be fit? If Jota and Matip were fit during the quarterfinals and semi-finals, I don't think you'd be putting them out anyway. But yeah, your actual 11 that you started the cup week with, all through, really, like, you've only got one or two weeks where you might have a slight challenge, like game week 10, or even this game week, maybe game week 5. Like not too many favourable fixtures, but past that, like, I think you'd be just like a steady Eddie, just sort of under the radar, scoring like fairly decently, maybe, providing that your players play well. But yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how it'd be interesting. Like, that's what makes the cup interesting. Is it's just like, how far are you going to get through, and then, I mean, I'm looking at the final week. If I get to the final, I'm like, might have a good chance. But I mean, I don't have Ben Rama anymore, so his line doesn't really count. But and like you say, Bamford and by then, hopefully Jota and Matip are fully fit. So no, I think it's Jim's to lose. So I'm looking at his, because he had 60 greens over the whole thing. So and 19 reds. Yeah, it's definitely Jim's to lose. But I'm liking my table.
Yeah, I think it's a good looking table. Again, Jack's not too bad. Decent bench, not very many red fixtures in his bench. Quarterfinals would be his worst week, I think, to overcome. But yeah, it also depends on other managers around in that same game week to see to compare what their fixtures would be, I guess. But yeah, I think other than game week 8, Jack's got a pretty
quarterfinal could be a struggle for him, couldn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I think Jack's got quite a nice table looking at that.
George again. Yeah. I think, like you say, because it was, who was first? Adams was really clumped together, wasn't it? All his reds, but everybody else seems to have been fairly spread out. Yeah.
But yeah, again, I think George is probably up there with Jim in terms of numbers.
I mean, his final week looks, he would be favourite there. There's a lot of green in his final week compared to the others.
Exactly.
Tom, scratch that. Yeah, you can't be saying stuff until you've seen everybody's team.
What's that?
So Tom put Luke's to lose. They went, scratch that. George to win.
No, we said it's Jim's to lose.
I think so. Still, I think it's. I mean, I presume you're going to have everyone's at the end, so we can look at all of them in total.
Yeah, I just did the totals at the end. But
I mean, now you look at Tolly's, and his is even better for the.
yeah, exactly. Tolly on paper has got a great cup run. Again, is quite like most people's. I mean, not most people, but like quite a few that we pointed out so far. Their worst week has been the quarterfinal stage.
Yeah.
So I think if people can just overcome that,
whoever gets to it, yeah.
Yeah. Then but his final week, like, should he make the final, I think Tolly is the one to beat. But obviously, it's subjective because, no offense, Tolly, you look at some of the players on the team, like Antonio, for example, like he's one of the greens, but he's done nothing. And obviously, with the incoming players at West Ham, like, is he even going to get on the pitch type thing?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fixture-wise, it's in his favour. It's just whether his players can pull it out the bag for him, which, I mean, like you say never, and Polly has.
That's a different review.
There, but, yeah, again, Max is well up there, fixture-wise, very favourable fixtures. Again, like, I don't think he has a single week where I'd say, like, oh, that's going to be a massive struggle for him. Maybe game week 11. That's where he's got most of his red fixtures, even on his bench as well. Like, options to bring in and out are probably scarce that week. So yeah, I think that would be Max's struggling point, should he get that far. But yeah, other than that, Max has got one of the stronger fixture lists out of us all.
Yeah, 64 greens is good, isn't it? Will's not bad either, 59 greens.
Yeah, again, Will's got fairly decent fixture list. Whether he's got the players, so this is the problem as you get further down the table, is whether they've got the fixtures, but have they got the players to take advantage of
the fixture?
Yeah. I mean, not saying that they haven't got the players, but obviously they're at that point of the table for a reason, because the players aren't scoring the points. So whatever reason that is, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to take advantage of these favourable fixtures. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Will to.
Oh, here we go.
Show. Yeah, so this is just
here.
Yeah, just a quick overview of everyone's score. So, like we were saying earlier, like, most people are in sort of mid 50s to early 60s, and then you've got Lawrence, the standout sort of manager, with 45 greens and 30 reds, which is in the higher end.
Yeah, you've got the most number of reds.
So I've got the most reds. So someone who's better at maths than me could probably do some sort of adding up and sort of work out an average or something like that would have some meaning or make some sense. But I'm not that smart, so. But yeah, like I said at the start, it was more information, and maybe if you wanted to, like, screen grab it or whatever to sort of, like, work out week to week, like, who's best to put in or whatever. Or
definitely thought-provoking, I would say.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it.
Brilliant. I like it. Something a bit different, relevant to the cup as well as it started, and I've just looked at Saints. Apparently, Saints have gone up 2-1 now, so it could be a good game to go and watch after this, or watch it as well as this if you are. But yeah, I like that, Rich. That was good.
Yeah.
Comes out as a team row beating Jim in the final. After crunching the numbers. Yeah.
Right, yeah, well, Tom is a man for numbers, so maybe he can do something with those numbers that would make sense of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if Tom does get to the final, like we said, I don't think he's going to be winning it. That's my prediction.
It's bold. Should we do a poll between Tom and Lawrence? The only people to vote in the poll. Who would win, Timo or Jim in the final? No. Okay. What are we on? 48 minutes. I think we can leave it there. Oh, Adam's here. He's been quiet the whole time, or if he's only just shown up.
Fulham have scored. Oh no, Fulham have scored. That's terrible for me. That's my Brighton clean sheet out the window.
Is it?
Points for Jim. Mitrovic goal.
I mean, Lawrence raises a good point. Who is the serial cup winner in this league?
I mean, this is what you've got to take into account as well. Like, you can have all the greens and reds and whites, like in the world, going against you, but you can't take away that cup winning mentality. The man clearly knows how to win a cup with a fantasy team. So, like you say, it's luck of the draw. At the end of the day, and you never know what your team or your players are going to do on that day, regardless of what the fixture is. So, I basically just said that entire segment that I've just done is useless. But
no.
So I'm just reading these comments.
Yeah, I'd like to get to a cup final again. I'm happy that it was fun getting to the original first time round. That was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be nice to get to another one.
I always find it very satisfying to try and boot Tom out of the cup. I think I've done it maybe once or twice. I can't remember if it's twice or once. I know sensationally it was when when I was bottom of the league. I was bottom of the league both seasons, but
yeah.
So yeah.
All right. I think we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for coming on, Rich. I enjoyed your segment. I think it's going to make people think about their team selection going through the cup. For those people that get through to each of the stages. And yeah. Thanks for listening, Tom and Lawrence and Adam. Must have been stealth listening. But yeah, we'll be back next week with a new manager on, new segments. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it there. As always, this is the DraftCast. And remember, draft is life. See you next time.